Welcome back to My Time. I am Daniel Tension, joined as always by my good friend Zach Sayre. How you doing today, Zach?
I am doing great, Big Dan. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on the Glenn's Lock Service AAA State Tournament Bracket Show.
Part 2.
Big shout out to Glenn's.
Part 2. Got the big boys now. I am still wearing the original Matt Time hoodie, my favorite of all so far, minus the camo one that's freshly out.
On its way.
Got the Matt Time beanie and still drinking actual coffee.
Yep.
From the chain cup.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing.
Rocking the Matt Time crew neck sweatshirt there. Can't go wrong with it. Big shout out to our partners at Chain Wrestling, doing some big things in the wrestling apparel game. So,
absolutely.
Chain Wrestling, join the chain. Created by athletes for athletes. Cultivated for the uncommon. Apparel for the everyday grind. Big shout out to Chain Wrestling.
Good times. All right, last episode, we took you through the lightweights. I changed my glasses. I can read a little bit better now. No more old eyes hurting me. But we're ready to roll here, going into 150 AAA. Let's just
get right into it, Big Dan.
I'll let you start this one.
So 150, I think this is a weight class, I
think the sleeper exists here, personally.
Who's your sleeper here?
Given he's a regional champ that I'm calling a sleeper, but Powell has completely turned his season around.
He's been wrestling well.
Incredibly well.
We talked about Murphy earlier. 13 losses, 12 losses. My eyes are a little rough there, but look at the schedule that South wrestles, and he's been wrestling phenomenal. And I would have to go back and see when he actually lost last.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since he last
it's been a while. So no, I'm all on the Powell train there.
I think he's a sleeper.
I think that's something that could definitely, if he were to make a run, I would not be surprised in the least. I think Vilas on paper has put himself out front.
I agree. I still think
like
he's
looking at things black and white. I think he has put himself out there in the lead, anyways.
I agree with that.
I think there's some talent spread throughout here. As far as the regional champions, I think it's pretty well separated. You got Kerchiznik there from the Panhandle, champion of Region 2. You got that potential semifinal matchup with Vilas winning. But
which goes back
not to get too far ahead of ourselves, though. There's a big first round match there with him and Ladreski from University.
Well, that's an important matchup too.
So that's
an important matchup, and that tells you how deep Region 1 is in terms of talent. If you're talking a champ versus 4 is that big, it kind of goes back to the 38 pound weight class there, where you got some kids wrestling around the gate on Thursday, which doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. Like, people just don't realize that usually Thursdays are fairly lopsided. And even more still, very rarely do we say the winner of that has a chance to even push for finals. But we got 2 weight classes this year where we feel that's the case.
That could be the case, yeah.
And this was another one the coaches left alone. We didn't mention it, but 144 was the only one they felt they needed to mess with. So they switched it up.
On the AAA side.
Yeah, everything else looked like it was what people agree with.
What they thought was
right. Which hopefully next year we got a brand new system that we suggest.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Regardless,
that's a little ways away there. So, but no, I think. Like I said,
I agree. Vilas is the guy you're chasing, but I think Powell can absolutely be a dark horse here, which would be huge.
Yeah, and that bottom bracket
race.
Though, like I said, there's 2 or 3 kids there at least that if you said they final, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be shocked if Sam came out of there too.
Yeah, Stoller.
Yeah. His loss was to Kerchiznik there
Ward,
in the regionals.
Like I said, there's definitely some talent there in the bottom, and that'll be interesting to see how those bottom 2 quadrants of that weight class play out. So
it will be.
I'm looking forward to seeing 150 and see what transpires there.
So I guess I'm saying that Friday morning the Park South Spring Mills matchup is pretty significant there in the quarters. One of the few times I'm saying the bottom one is the
and typically everything's always in that top quadrant.
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
Just the way it shook out. So.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right, on to 157. No, I think this is a class obviously. This nothing crazy in this statement, but I think. It's pretty well
The rematch. The rubber match.
Everyone's looking forward to, the rubber match. This is the third installment.
It'd be round 3.
Of Parker v. Osborne. Like I said, hate to, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I think that's
I think they're definitely the best,
that's
too.
a fair statement to
Well,
make, and I think
let's play this
everybody
game.
would be in agreement there.
If they drew the pill where they matched up in the semis, would they have separated them?
100%.
Okay, there you go.
So I think
that answers the question. I agree 100%. And the 2 matches have been good matches. Obviously, Parker won round 1. Very tight match. Tight. Round 2, little more convincing win for Osborne.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has established himself as the man. I think Dom's the underdog if they match up. Personally. Just based on the 2 scores, and actually we watched the second one. Well, we watched them both.
Yeah.
We watched them both go down.
Saw both of them.
Yeah, I mean, lots of great wrestlers here, lots of kids getting on the podium. Don't get me wrong when I say anything like that. We just think the 2 best are the 2 best. And they've definitely one loss and 2 losses respectively.
On a collision course.
3 combined losses.
Like you said, for the rubber match there. So
that's a great storyline.
See who takes all the marbles.
It's a great storyline.
And ends.
Round 3 ends the whole thing.
Ends as the state champion there.
Yeah,
so.
like there's no discussion.
Yeah.
You win the overall season series, and you win the belt.
Yep.
It's not like a scenario where you've lost all year and you get him in the finals.
You walk out with the title. Yeah.
It's undisputed at that point. There's no discussion. Yeah. You're a 2-1 victor, and you have the belt around your way. So
that's going to be good. I'm like I said.
I think that's a great storyline. I think 57's got that good storyline looming, and assuming everybody holds serve, I think that's what we're going to see on Saturday night.
Yep.
Assuming they do, but hey, it's the state tournament.
Anything can happen.
This is where upsets are born, man.
Anything can happen. So
last year's was chaos. So just absolute chaos.
All right,
let's
go on to 165 here, Big Dan. Any initial thoughts in your overview of this weight class, or what are your thoughts here with this one?
I think it's pretty open. I think when you look at a Hagedorn as a runner-up, that means you got a tough quarterfinal match there with Phillips. I think that's a very intriguing.
That's an interesting quarterfinal for sure.
Matchup.
There.
Maynard obviously wrestling very, very well, and I do think the date with Edge in the semis is something to look at. I think that's a very reasonable, feasible semifinal matchup. And I really wouldn't sleep on the Edge and Bush quarterfinal. I think that could be sneaky good. I'm not saying it's 100% going to be. I'm just saying it could be sneaky good. And I know Edge don't agree with where he's ranked right now, and turns out neither really do we because we don't do rankings. Yeah. But I think this kid could have a big tournament. He's a former champ.
Yeah, going to look to try and
make
what
else
run.
What else can you say? He's a former champ.
Try and make a run there as a senior and see what he can do. So I think for me, I like the first round matchup of Wills and Wallace.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that matchup right off the bat. That's a pretty
it's a good one.
Pretty good one for a Thursday. I mean, like I said, you typically don't see a whole lot of great matches on Thursday, and I think that could have the makings for a great one there. So no, I think in this weight class, looking at it objectively, I think Jackson.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you're all after Jackson.
I think everyone's chasing Jackson, especially in that bottom half. Now, Hagedorn's going to have something to say about that, or Phillips. But like I said, thus far though, I think that's a safe. I think that's a safe thing to say. Is that Jackson is the one that's being chased.
I agree with that. There's no doubt about that. But he has 2 losses, and one of those came with the state duels. Mm-hmm. So wrestle smart.
Yeah,
wrestle smart.
Wrestle smart there. So
for sure.
No, I'm excited to see how this plays out. I think
we're going to see a Hagedorn Jackson showdown in the semis. Personally, I think that's what we're going to see. Yeah. Which is a tremendous.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I'm really intrigued by a finals matchup of Edge v Jackson.
Okay, I think
both
semis are really
intrigued
good.
by it. I'm just saying I'm intrigued by it.
Right.
A lot of fireworks there. I think a lot of potentiality for fireworks there.
Oh, so. No doubt about fireworks.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's the potential.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fireworks. There. Now, like I said, it very well could be Maynard as well. But like I said, I just like I like the little,
You're really
the little
going
pepper
bold.
that could be that could be on there with that one. So
pepper indeed.
All right, on to 75, Big Dan. This is another weight class where I think it would be safe for us to say, and I think everyone for the most part would be in agreement that 1 and 2 here
Are 1 and 2.
Are 1 and 2. I think we're looking at another Wright v. Felix matchup, which actually this only turns out to be
the second
time where potentially they could have matched up 5 times.
Should have been 5. What we talked about earlier in the year.
Everyone been healthy and everything everything went as planned, but this season of course all throughout the state has been just pure chaos for
injuries, illnesses, nothing went as planned,
for people missing. So
yeah, last year we said the Barty and Price final was the one. That's the one you pay for. It's the one you go watch. That's the one you see. Man, you talk about fireworks in the 65 weight class. Man, there is some heat here. Like Luca and Gage, they want to wrestle each other. Like they want it. I'm going to go ahead and take it a step farther. They need it. They need this rematch to happen, and I don't see any reason it doesn't. I think they have separated themselves as 1 and 2, both having tremendous seasons. I mean, they 2 really, really good seasons. The only blemish for Luca is Gage.
Yeah.
And Gage's blemishes come at the Ironman and Powerade.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Won the Beast.
Because he won the Beast. Yeah, he went out there and won the Beast.
And took care of business everywhere else. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said,
he looked good. He got 3 matches last weekend. So he looked good, looked healthy. And let's be honest, though.
Didn't spend a lot of time with the mat either. He went out and got it done.
Well, but we're talking about a kid that's like obviously number one.
Yeah.
Like this kid, you talk about him like he's going to NC State, he's going to Penn State, Virginia Tech. Yeah, Luca's like jumping out to Oklahoma State. So we're talking about 2 kids that got Division I aspirations.
Legit Division I guys are nice. I'm looking forward to that.
And then big D ones.
Yeah,
big
time,
ones.
not smaller, but yeah, big time. So.
I think we see it. I think we see the rematch, and it's what the state deserves. It's a shame it's only our second time looking at it this year.
Yeah, would have loved to have seen that 5 times.
Because if you looked out in Iowa, they had a finals matchup between an Iowa and Iowa State commit, which was just absolutely a burner, and it was their 4th time wrestling. So
I think I'll tell you somebody to watch here, Big Dan. At least as far as making a semifinal run, I think Cooper Durst. Is setting pretty with the draw that he has. I like his draw that he got.
And you
there.
lost to Gage in the finals, so it kind of helped you. It got you away from Gage.
Yeah, got you away from Gage, separated you there. So
yeah,
I like
always take your chances against someone else.
I like that draw there. This weight class will be interesting.
I think Jones draws out there too. I think Jones meets right in the semis personally.
Yeah, I like Jay's draw there.
I think that's what we're going to see. But again, I think it's going to end up Luca and Gage. Round 2, only round 2 this time. Now, let's say Luca wins. Now there's some argument. Well, you split. You just beat him in the state finals. You didn't beat him the other. Blah 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 blah.
I think with this weight class, I think the top 4 or so are pretty clear, pretty well established. So I'm interested to see how
it's like a tier system.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how
I think 1 and 2 are up here.
The other placers
3 and 4 here
shake out. I think that'll be.
So you're saying lots of guys can get those top bottom.
I think there's
bottom spots.
Like I said, assuming everyone's healthy and everything. Like I said, that's just me. But no, 75 will be a good one there on the consolation bracket. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I hear you. All right, we're gonna stop real quick, take a quick break, and we'll be back with 190.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Special thanks again to our partners at Par-Mar. Par-Mar stores, if there's not one near you now, there soon will be. They are the official sponsors of the WVSSAC and their sports.
Yep, big shout out to Par-Mar doing big things for mat time.
Absolutely.
Proud supporters of us, and more importantly,
we're supporters of them.
The wrestlers of West Virginia. So we'll fuel up and get some snacks and drinks there.
Once again in the GF,
on our way
baby.
Down to the state tournament there. So big shout out to them.
Very exciting. Very exciting. All right, 190,
Big Dan.
I think what jumps out at me on Thursday night is Park South University squaring off round 1. That's hugely important for the team.
Team race. That's a big matchup, and especially right off
the gate. So. And Shockey got a convincing Tech Fall victory earlier in the year against Page. Mm-hmm. So this is like Page's like circled that one. Like I've got to show up and wrestle well. Worst case, no bonus.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Worst case, no bones. This would be a super tight matchup. So I think that's an interesting one out of the gate on Thursday. Maybe not in terms of winner makes it to the finals, but definitely in terms of team race for sure. What do you got?
So I think I'm really intrigued by Gianpaolo Wise, the semi.
Oh, absolutely.
Just geographically, you don't see that matchup.
No, and Wise came down after beating Brothers.
Came down to 90. B Brothers had dropped down to 90. So I want to see that match. I'm really looking forward to seeing that match, and I hope we do.
Well, it's going to take someone like Wise to knock off Gianpaolo because, he's 2 losses this year, defending state champ.
And one of them's to Clarion.
To Goo, right.
To Goo, yeah.
To Goo. Goo's a good wrestler, going to Clarion. 5-4 matchup, so I do think it's still Nick's to lose. I think Nick Gianpaolo would be my favorite. If I'm going to pick one to be a favorite here, it's going to be him.
No, I think on the bottom, I think it will pretty well play to chalk. I think Shockey.
You think we could see
I think we very well could see a Shockey Gianpaolo rematch yet again. I mean, they've wrestled numerous times this year, so
2 or 3, yeah,
at least,
2 or 3.
I think 3, maybe. Like I said, don't hold me to that.
But again, that's another one that's getting closer.
Yeah, so
I know before the injury default there at regionals, it was close. It might have been tied. It might have been 3-3.
I can't remember the score, but it was yeah. So I'm looking forward to to seeing that. I like rematches. I agree. I like the rematch.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. They being the coaches committee must think Shockey's too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because otherwise they would have.
They would have made.
Yeah.
They'd have set up a Wise and Shockey semi instead of a Gianpaolo.
Yeah, based off of the way that this is set up, they had to have thought that. So
yeah. That's it. I mean, I don't know. I might have separated those two. But again, that's not why that's why I'm not on it.
Yeah.
Because I would just argue to argue.
Yeah, just for the sake of arguing. So
you hate rankings. I'm like, that's true. This is true. This is why I'm here. Moving along. 215.
On to 215 here.
Now, this is another one with a great storyline. I feel like the rubber match there with Osborne and Dom is a great storyline. I think the storyline with Luca and Gage is a great storyline. But I think the storyline of them all, and this, I'm going to give a big shout out to the kid. It would have been easy for Brothers to have cut or bumped early in the year after he saw that he was a little bit behind Brock. Because Brock's a stud, Brothers stud, W commit. This storyline is amazing. This is like 75, no disrespect, but we're going to see these two wrestle the finals. We're going to see it.
Yeah.
And the loser will be the one that's not. There's going to be 7 state titles between these two.
Yeah.
And that match decides who doesn't get the fourth.
Somebody doesn't get a fourth out of this. So,
right.
Yeah.
Brock's very much on pace for it, and the way this kid wrestles, I mean, it's going to take a very special young man to come around and knock off Brock, period. No matter how you cut it. Because we said it's going to take a very special young man to come up and knock off Brothers. And here he is.
Yeah.
So I think the storyline of Brothers, senior year, going after his 4th title. He's lost 3 times now to Brock. This is it. This is your one last shot. Can you get him? Can you beat him? Can you be the 4-timer that you set out to be?
Yeah.
Great storyline.
Yeah, that is a great storyline. Like I said, there's that 8th title is
they can't get 8.
Yeah, somebody's coming away shorthanded.
They can't get 8. That's the long and short of it. No way possible. No, we can't get 8.
8 total, 7 to go around. So it's like who draws?
Who doesn't get it?
Yeah, who doesn't get?
That's why
it's
an amazing.
Yeah,
storyline.
I do like that storyline there. No, I think there's some big matchups here.
Well, I mean, you got Morris wrestling really well too.
Yeah, Morris is wrestling well.
And this is important for Morris to continue to wrestle well because you got to assume Brock's going to make it out there.
Yes, you got to point wise. You got to try to keep that. Yeah. You got to try to go along with him as far as you can there. So,
and what sucks is you draw Brothers in the quarters. That becomes a super interesting quarterfinal match.
Yeah.
Can you play spoiler? Can you be the guy that says, "Don't worry about number 4. I already took care of it." You know what I mean? I mean, that's an intriguing weight class, mostly in storyline to me. I think it's pretty clear cut who 1 through even 5 would probably be, in my mind. But their storyline's afoot. Like I think Morris Brothers is a Saturday type matchup.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
I don't think it's a Saturday night matchup. I do think Brothers is the favorite there, personally.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that big game. I think 215 the finals there.
Now we're getting to my weights, man.
Getting into your expertise.
My well, I guess you would say my wheelhouse.
Yep.
My bread and butter.
Right
Since
there
we're
in your
talking
bread
big
and butter,
boys, it's our
so.
bread and butter.
All right, on to 285, Big Dan. Here with 285, we have a prophecy looming
Prophecy
to
can be fulfilled.
To be potentially fulfilled.
It should have been already.
We
it should have been
called,
already.
As a freshman,
Freshman
we
year.
said that this
State
young man
duels.
will be a state champion.
State champion. He placed that year as a freshman.
Yep. He was wrestling Jacob Muncie.
Yep.
And we're like, this guy's he's gonna be it. And it had some unfortunate luck.
Horrible luck.
In the years following with COVID and injury. But Kamar Summers, is sitting there looking to claim and take that state title. So
Purely out of ego, I'm 100% rooting for Summers for prophecy fulfilled.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
But it's never easy at heavyweight.
No, it's
never
not.
easy.
And there's so much that can happen. And one wrong move, and of course you know this, but one wrong move,
the wind blows the wrong way.
it can go. Now there's definitely some talent here.
Oh yeah, well,
and I mean I think, like I said, there's a couple different guys that could final, especially on the bottom.
Oh yeah,
but there's a big rematch looming. I think, anyways, in the semis that'll determine who finals, and I think that's going to be between Hastings and Arthur.
Right. Wow.
They've split. And this will be the third
installment,
I believe, of that.
I'm going to hit you with the Corso here. Not so fast, my friend. You got Means.
Yeah, you do have Means sitting there.
Arthur sitting in the quarters.
Yeah, that's a big quarterfinal matchup.
Oh, it's a huge quarterfinal matchup. Huge.
Yeah, that's a big matchup there. So
I mean, Means lost to Summers. Like you lost to the guy that everybody's chasing. He's undefeated. Won the WSAZs. This kid's one of the best around. You got McCann up there that's definitely looking to make some more noise.
Yeah, and they were.
It's a talent. It's a talented heavyweight.
McCann and Summers, it was win by pin there at WSAZs, but it was
close until
back and forth. Yeah, it was back and forth.
It was close until. But I'm going to give a shout out to the best name in all the brackets. AAA best name goes to St. Albans' own Mighty Lopez.
Yeah, that is a pretty
freshman.
That's a pretty good name. Yeah.
Young pup here in the heavyweights. That's a great name. That's an awesome name. That is a wrestling name.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm intrigued by prophecy being fulfilled here, Big Dan. But I think there's some big matchups. Like I said, for those waiting to get to the finals, potentially against him. And like I said, he himself and Kamar has a big matchup with McCann there, rematch from WSC's looming. So
it's a good bracket.
That's gonna be a good heavyweight class. I mean, all those guys.
Just gonna be super selfish, I guess.
Summers, McCann, Means, Arthur, Hastings, they're all wrestling very well.
Right.
So, like, if any of them finaled, not surprised. So
I'll just be disappointed Summers don't win it because we need that soundbite to come back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there we go. There's AAA.
So, well, that
was fast.
What a
feel like we
weight.
just got started.
What a set of weights there. That's big.
Yeah,
So.
good brackets. It's going to be great wrestling. Last year was probably top to bottom some of the best wrestling I'd seen at the state wrestling tournament in forever. It was a great tournament.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be a lot more intriguing because both team races are super tight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot before we leave. Who wins AAA?
Man, I think it's gonna. Oh man, it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to bonus. I think.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be big bonus, and then of course on the bottom side of things. Man, Big Dan.
Put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. Man, I wasn't expecting you to do that. I think, barring any injuries or anything like that, I think I give the slight edge to South.
South?
Slight edge.
South by under 20. South by under 20.
Yeah, like I
it's
said,
going to be super tight.
Edge.
It does come down to the bottom part.
Now, should anything happen, then it's like,
I mean, this is as of these brackets.
Yeah.
But okay, that's it. Once again, huge shout out to Glenn's Lock Service there. If you get yourself stuck in some bad times at the state tournament, give him a call, 304-522-4007. He's got at least 2 more shows coming at you. This guy stepped up this week. Awesome dude, too.
Yeah,
You've talked to him quite a bit in person.
Yeah, I love talking to Glenn. I've talked to him numerous times this year.
I talked to him a lot on
events,
Messenger.
So great guy, does outstanding work, and I would definitely recommend hitting him up if you're ever in a bind with your car or locked out of your house or anything of that sort. So, big shout out to Glenn.
You will see us Wednesday morning for some AA. Mm-hmm. It'll be exciting. I'm sorry, Tuesday morning.
It'll be Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Well, Wednesday we'll finish AA.
Yeah, Wednesday we'll finish AA.
We'll finish AA because y'all voted. You wanted AAA first. There it was.
Yep.
Now we're going to go into AA. Have a little bit of fun with that. As always, folks, I'm Daniel Tinch.
And I'm Zach Sear.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Have a good one.